Thank you all for joining us tonight. My name is Steve Welch, and I'm Executive Director of Invite, Welcome, Connect. We're also joined tonight by our founder, Mary Palmer, who's over there quietly sitting. Um, so we have a relatively small group here tonight, so I'm going to ask, we'll keep it as casual as possible. Feel free to interrupt at any point with questions. And we'll get started in a second, but I wanted to know just kind of a quick show of hands if everybody here was in Mary's workshop over the weekend. Yeah, pretty much everybody. All right, so that helps me. So we won't spend a lot of time kind of doing the quick overview of Invite, Welcome, Connect that we often do, and we'll dig, we'll do that briefly, but we'll move quickly into looking at Invite, Welcome, Connect on demand so that you can play around with it, have any questions you want, and make sure that you leave tonight knowing how to access the on-demand materials and that sort of thing. Go ahead and share my screen here so you can see our slides. So prayer is central to most things that we do at Invite, Welcome, Connect. So I always like to start these sessions off with a prayer. This one in particular is taken from Mary Palmer's book, Invite, Welcome, Connect, Stories and Tools to Transform Your Church. And I'd like to invite you to pray with me, please. The Lord be with you.
And also with you.
Dear gracious Lord, we pray this day with holy intention to live into our baptismal covenant, to become reflections of Christ in everything we do. We ask you, Lord, for the grace to see others as Jesus sees them, with love and compassion and forgiveness. Give us the courage to implement Invite, Welcome, Connect in our congregation and open our hearts and minds to holy listening and loving souls so we may take the challenge of creativity seriously and serve you faithfully. Amen.
Amen.
So again, we'll look at the basics of Invite, Welcome, Connect very briefly as a refresher for those of you who were at the workshop this past weekend. And if anybody is here who was not there. And so first, what we define is what is Invite, Welcome, Connect. And we assiduously avoid the word program when referring to Invite, Welcome, Connect. We are not a program. What we are is a framework, and that framework helps congregations to cultivate their ministries of evangelism, of hospitality, and of belonging. As such, it is not a one-size-fits-all turnkey kind of solution. It is adaptable to each of your congregations. And I think that in every congregation that has an Invite, Welcome, Connect ministry, it looks a little bit different. It's intended not to be something that we drop on you and you have to do the way we say, but it's adaptable to your own congregation. As such, it helps churches and church communities discover their own individual gifts and their callings to live into this ministry. We also sometimes have been accused of being a church growth program. We are not that. What we are is a ministry that grows the hearts of the people within the congregation, and other people are really attracted to that, and so they may be drawn to that. And so church growth may be a byproduct of implementing Invite, Welcome, Connect, but it is not the goal. It is not the aim. The goal is to transform the hearts of the people in your church. Real quick on the origins of Invite, Welcome, Connect. Our friend Mary was the founder of this around 2010. It was in various forms over the years. Mary is still our main presenter and our founder and our creative consultant. And as you know, she was with you over the past weekend at the cathedral. The ministry originally came up out of the Diocese of Texas. It was resident at Swanee School of Theology for a while, but and began with live workshops that have been presented at churches and dioceses and conferences and seminaries all around the world, as far as the Episcopal Church in Europe and in Canada and kind of everywhere. Dozens and dozens of live workshops. A few years ago, we added coaching services to the listings of things that we make available, as well as online webinars and summits. And we're going to be hopefully getting back to some of the online summits in the coming year. Back in 2024, we became an independent 501c3 charitable organization. Independent, we stand alone. We're not part of any other organization. And then on January 1st of last year, 2025, that's when we launched Invite, Welcome, Connect on Demand. which is a set of online training resources that are available for subscription to dioceses and to individual congregations. Your diocese, Diocese of Arkansas, is a subscriber, which means that every single person in your diocese has complete unlimited access to all of the Invite, Welcome, Connect materials 24/7, as many times as you want, as much as you want. There's no silliness with having a number of seats or a number of people who can access it. It is for everybody, and we really encourage everyone who is interested in being part of this ministry or just finding out more about it to use the materials and come in with it. I'll pause here before we go on. Any questions so far? We don't have the biggest group. Is that a hand up over there for Michael?
Explain coaching services, would you please?
We'll talk a little bit more about it later, but coaching is something that is in addition to the Invite, Welcome, Connect subscription. It's where we have a set of trained coaches who meet with individual congregations. It's typically every other month or 6 times a year over the course of a year for a session where those coaches help you in implementing Invite, Welcome, Connect, and also help you stay accountable to one another and to the ministry. So when you have questions, when you have difficulties, when you have you just need advice on how to work together and how to implement it, the coach is available for that. And it's the sort of thing that can be done by an individual congregation, or a couple of congregations can go in on a coach together. But they shouldn't be too disparate, because as we know, each congregation is unique, and so that coaching becomes unique to that congregation as well. Does that answer your question for now, Michael?
It does.
Great. So going on. I know you've seen this already, what the 4 core values of Invite, Welcome, Connect are. As we said at the beginning, everything starts with prayer and vision, grounding in God's imagination and shared purpose. And that's why, we began tonight with prayer. Hope that prayer is central to everything you do as you grow your Invite, Welcome, Connect ministry. Invite, Welcome, Connect is also about intentionality. You'll find that the things that you learn in Invite, Welcome, Connect are not necessarily radical, not new, completely different things, but they're things that often happen in churches almost by accident. You're drawn to it. You just kind of do it. What Invite, Welcome, Connect does is help you behave in a more intentional fashion in fostering these ministries of evangelism, hospitality, and belonging. That you have to think about it and be deliberate and do things kind of on purpose, which helps with growth, which helps with sustainability. Moving on. The third core value is relational. Invite, Welcome, Connect is all about relations, our relationship to God, but our relationship to one another, not just the people within the congregation, but to the community, to visitors who come in, to the wider church. It's all about relations and how we work with one another and how we see one another and hear one another and value one another as creations of the living God. And then fourth is accountability. The idea that you're allowed and encouraged in Invite, Welcome, Connect to experiment, to try new things, and then to measure how you're doing, whether it's working or not. And if a particular thing doesn't work well for you, go to something else, try something else. Look for the little successes that will build upon each other, so that one little success creates another success, but you don't get bogged down in things that are not working for you, that you can be nimble and flexible and move on. Any questions about the core values? As I say, I'm going through very, very quickly because I know we want to give you a look at Invite, Welcome, Connect on demand. But if I go too fast, please just slow me down. So we'll look very, very briefly at what we call the 3 essentials of Invite, Welcome, Connect. And that's just simply invite and welcome and connect, and what we mean by each of those. For invite is about creating space for encounter. It's not to be confused with marketing, although there certainly are marketing elements that happen in invitation. But more than that, we say that personal stories and relational invitations are what matter most. Still today, the vast majority of people who come into your church come in because someone asked them to. And Invite, Welcome, Connect stresses that kind of personal invitation, but all kinds of ways of making that invitation. But it's person to person. It's not, you might put up a billboard, but it's not about putting up a billboard. It's about creating a space that opens for the stranger. And we base this on the scripture of Matthew 28, which tells us to go therefore and make disciples of all nations. So next, for welcome. Welcome is the ministry of hospitality. And hospitality is about truly seeing and honoring the other. Really seeing those people when they come into your church or when you're out in the community and you see them, just being with them and knowing who they are by listening to them. There are some practical pieces that are part of hospitality, signage, both inside and out, greeters. We have a new greeting ministry training program, following up with first-time visitors, that if somebody comes into your church, that they know that their visit was valued by you, that you have take the effort to follow up with them, to let them ask questions, to know that their visit mattered to you. And we base this on Hebrews 13. Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing that, some have entertained angels without knowing it. And then the third essential of Invite, Welcome, Connect, the connect part. That's the ministry of belonging. And this is where we move people from being guests of our congregations to becoming participants and eventually to becoming co-creators, people who contribute their skills and their love to your congregation, and that as their presence with you changes both. They become changed by being part of your congregation. You become changed by them being part of your congregation. We do this by helping them to discover and then give power to the gifts that they bring. And we do this through small groups and service roles and mentoring, where a church veteran may take a new family or a new person under their wing and help make sure that they know where they fit into the congregation. Connection is really where long-term commitment to church happens. Connection deepens belonging, it sustains growth. People who become connected to your congregation are people who return to your congregation, who become your congregation. And for this, we look to Romans, that for as in one body we have many members, and not all the members have the same function, so we, who are many, are one body in Christ. And individually, we are members one of another. And I love that part of it, that we are members one of another. Because sometimes we think about people coming in as though they're strangers. Belonging is about making them members of us and us members of them. So in practical terms, what are some practical things that are associated with these three essentials? And again, this is super, super fast. But for invite, again, personal invitations, to the actual asking of somebody to come to your church and to let them know that it's a safe place for them to come. Things like meetups and outreach to community events, to even social media clips that you may do through, sermon clips that you put on your social media, or other invitations that you put on social media. There's lots and lots and lots of aspects to invite. And again, this will depend on what works for your congregation. We give you a lot of tools and ideas for things that may work for you, but we also encourage you and help you and guide you to bring those ideas out of your own congregation, and then give you the power to make them real. For welcome, an obvious practical application is to take a look at the signage that you have both inside your church and outside your church. Is it something that makes people really feel welcome? When they come to your church, do they know where to park? Do they know which door to come in? Once they're inside, where do they bring their children? Where are the bathrooms? That's weird little things that, because we're going to the same church for a decade or so, and we know where everything is, we don't necessarily think about that. We give you some tools to help you think better about that, and to learn how to look at your church through the eyes of a stranger and anticipate those things that would make them feel more welcome. This is also where greeter training comes in, where the first person that a visitor to your church encounters is both empowered and knowledgeable on how to really be welcoming to those people, and to answer questions, and to help them feel welcomed and safe and to thrive on from their very first visit. This is also where newcomer follow-up comes in, that we let people know that their visit mattered to us. For Connect, the ministry of belonging, these are places where you're probably doing a lot of things already, but there may be ways of helping introduce people into those things or doing new things that will help people live into the fuller life of your congregation. Some examples of these would be small groups or mentoring, as we mentioned before, finding clear service pathways that people can discover their gifts and see how they can make a difference in your congregation, and skill sharing around that. And not only trying to pigeonhole people into roles that you feel you have a need for. For instance, we often see a young couple with a young child, and we may jump on them and say, "Oh, would you teach Sunday school?" When that may not be what's calling to them, or immediately trying to grab somebody into the choir. This is about discovering the gifts that these people are feeling compelled or called to use, and then giving them a path that lets them use that. And there's a lot of parts of Invite, Welcome, Connect that will help you do that. And again, help you think intentionally about that instead of just the default, And I should also mention, not treating people who come into your doors like a resource. They may become a resource farther down the line, but you know how that is sometimes. We're so excited that a new person is coming in, and we hear them sing and they have a good voice, and we immediately try to pull them into the choir, whether they want to be in the choir or not. It's about helping them discover what their gifts are, what they're called to do, and where they find that they can fit into your congregation. It's about serving their needs, not seeing how they might serve our needs coming in. So if you're looking to start an Invite, Welcome, Connect ministry, and I don't know how many people have already started an Invite, Welcome, Connect ministry in this group and how many want to, but we have some resources that help you to do that. First of all, you do need to have buy-in from your key stakeholders. That's the clergy, the vestry, and the lay leadership. This is not a one-person ministry. This is something that should make fundamental changes to the way your congregation does things. And that's not possible without everybody being kind of on board for that. We always encourage you to start off by reading Mary's book, Invite, Welcome, Connect, Stories and Tools to Transform Your Church. It still says perfect for Lent. And to help you do that in a group, if you have a group of people who are interested in the ministry, we do have a group study guide on our website that lets you, with both videos and text, that lets you go through the book together and do discussion around it, and some idea generation and some prayer, and just kind of living into that book as a great way to get started with your ministry and to fire up your ministry and sustain it. We have a video on the site called "Are You Ready for the Training?", which gives you some real practical steps, things you should be doing to get ready to even start the on-demand materials, but also to start an Invite, Welcome, Connect ministry. We have a special page on our website, and I would say there's lots and lots of stuff on our website, but so much stuff that it can be a little overwhelming at first. And so if you're new to Invite, Welcome, Connect, I'd encourage you, the first thing to do is to go to our Launching Invite, Welcome, Connect page. And you'll find there's a great assessment tool that lets you look at how your congregation is currently doing these ministries of evangelism, hospitality, and belonging, and where you might have room for improvement or places that you have strengths that you might be able to build on. There's both a PDF version of the assessment tool as well as a new electronic version, so that if you want to email out a link to everybody in your congregation, you want to hear what people think about it, they can do that there. Plus, I think if you were at the cathedral this weekend, you got the checklist ideas and resources booklet. That's also here for download on the website. A welcome checklist that helps you looking at your welcome ministry, and then questions to answer is a document specifically about things that you should kind of get in line as you're developing an Invite, Welcome, Connect ministry. I've been talking like crazy for a little bit, and I haven't even paused for questions. So let me do that. Are there any questions that I've kind of blown by that you'd like to bring up? Feel free to unmute and say them. You don't need permission. No? Okay.
Question.
I'm sorry, I hear somebody. It seems very quiet.
Okay, let me come up to the microphone. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, better. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Sorry. My question is about the book study. Like, how long of a time period would you suggest if somebody was wanting to go through a book study with their group?
Well, the book study that the individual chapters are relatively short. We have set it up as a 6-week book study, but the book study doesn't cover every chapter in the book, just kind of the core material, because it felt like 6 weeks was a good sort of Lent period. But you could do 2 in a single week if you wanted to, or faster. It's really up to you. The book is something that does deserve a level of contemplation and prayer and thought over, but to do it in 6 weeks, maybe longer than you need. I'd say you could probably do it pretty effectively if you wanted to go faster in like in 3 sessions, like maybe across 3 weeks. But it's really up to you. Take a look at the book and see what you feel about that. We default to making it as easy on you as possible, but if you're excited and encouraged, you can move much more quickly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions right now? So I can see more people. All right, let's move on. So other ways that we can help. And yes, I am absolutely pandering to the Arkansas crowd by having the Razorback head coach on this page, but as a way of promoting our coaching, which we talked about. Right? You're already familiar with our live workshops, which Mary did with you this past weekend. Those are also available for individual congregations, but also diocesan wide. The online coaching we talked about already, that these are trained experts that meet with your team every other month to help you implement Invite, Welcome, Connect. And that's sometimes helpful as well if you're trying to herd the cats, and keep them all on track. Sometimes when they know that there's a call coming up with the coach, they crack down and get stuff done that they might otherwise let slide. So the coaching can help you with that. We've just recently introduced custom greeter training, where we can do online training with your greeter ministry that is customized for your particular congregation. There's also a greeter training document on the website. Again, invitewelcomeconnect.com itself just has a huge amount of news and resources and materials on there. We publish a couple of articles every month that speak into this space. It's not marketing stuff. It's stuff to help you in the Invite, Welcome, Connect ministry. And if you subscribe to our newsletter, those go out in our newsletter roughly once a month. We try not to hit you too often with emails, but you can subscribe on our website for that. And then what we're going to look at next, and the main meat of our evening, is Invite, Welcome, Connect on demand. But before I go on, any questions about any of these aspects that I just talked about? Okay. So for Invite, Welcome, Connect on demand, I've done a couple of little videos to put in here because it'll go through a couple of things more quickly than I could do just talking to you. So I have first this video, which is kind of an overview of Invite, Welcome, Connect on demand, and then we'll talk some practical aspects, and then we'll go to the website and actually look at it and click on things and answer questions for you. So let's watch this video. It's just less than 2 minutes. Introducing Invite, Welcome, Connect on Demand, your comprehensive resource for transforming church communities through evangelism, hospitality, and belonging. Developed over 14 years by founder Mary Foster Palmer, this digital offering provides access to a full slate of transformative workshops and training materials, allowing church teams to engage with the ministry's teachings at their own pace. Mary Foster Palmer is the creator and founder of Invite, Welcome, Connect. She's the past director of the Gathering of Leaders. Mary is also the author of the award-winning book, Invite, Welcome, Connect: Stories and Tools to Transform Your Church. Our on-demand videos feature a team of clergy and lay leaders, all trained by Mary Foster Palmer, ensuring consistent and impactful teachings, supplemented by text, resources, quick quizzes, and a state-of-the-art online idea collaboration tool, allowing participants to share ideas among their own team and other teams across the country. With Invite, Welcome, Connect on Demand, congregations of every size, location, and resource level can access engaging scripture-based training whenever they need. So next, we're going to look at how you activate your individual subscription to Invite, Welcome, Connect on Demand. And just, has anybody already activated their subscription? Okay, Ken and Warren, Pamela. Okay, so hopefully it wasn't too difficult. look at it. She says no, but we have some tools here to make it as simple as possible. As I said, the diocese has subscribed for unlimited access, so no one in your congregation has to pay for anything, and absolutely everybody has access to it. Everybody who wants to have access to it can, and we encourage it. I will say that we do encourage you the first time you go through the on-demand materials. It is best if you do it with your teams, your Invite, Welcome, Connect teams, because there's lots of opportunities for teams to talk together and answer questions and to do some idea generation, and that sort of the having the materials on demand let you go back and revisit it whenever you want, refresh your memory, bring new team members on without them having to feel like they're missing out on something. They can get up to speed even if the rest of the team has been going for 6 months or a year or 2 years, because the material is still there for people to access. But I'm going to show you here how to activate your subscription. You will need either a custom access code or a custom link to activate your subscription. And I have the custom access code on the page here. And you enter that on any page that you see that has this little guest area blip here. But I'm going to put both of those into the chat if my computer will cooperate. And so I'll encourage you to go ahead and copy that and keep it. I'm going to put both the code and the link into the chat if it lets me. And I will say, this will also be when in a day or two, I will send around a this recording of our session tonight that includes these slides. It includes a number of materials, and it also includes both this link and this access code. So if you don't want to copy it, that's fine. That's kind of a cheat to let you move a little quicker into it. Okay, let me get that out of the way. All right, so next, I want to show you this little video as well about how to activate your subscription, just because there are a couple of different steps, and sometimes the steps can be a little bit confusing. So I want you to see it here and have a chance to ask any questions that you want. This shows you from the beginning how to do it if you're going in with the access code and not that special link that I gave you. If you just come to the website and go in without the special link. The video also says at one point, this is the page you go to if you click the link. So then you'll see if you're clicking the link, how it works for you. So let's watch this video. It's very short, but it's quicker than I could do it showing you online or talking about it. To activate your subscription to Invite, Welcome, Connect on demand using an access code, click the subscriber menu on our website and choose On-Demand Training. This brings up a guest area page in which you need to enter the custom access code and then click the blue Go button. This brings you to the page describing Invite, Welcome, Connect on demand. If you have received the custom link, this is the page to which it leads. On this page, you'll click the blue View Details button. On the Details page, you'll click the orange Begin Training button. If you have never logged into our site before, you will need to create your own personal account, including your email address and a password of your choosing. Note that this password is not the same as the access code you used on the previous page. This is whatever password you care to use. Note that there is a login button at the bottom of this page that you can use if you already have an account on our site. When you have finished filling out the form, click the Submit button. Some web browsers will give you the option to save your username and password so you don't have to remember them next time. On the Choose Your Pricing Plan page, you have only one choice to make. Click the blue Select button. To finalize adding the on-demand subscription to your account, you'll need to fill out one more form with your personal details, and then select Save and Continue. Confirm one more time by clicking Place Order. Now click the blue Get Started button, and you will launch the Invite, Welcome, Connect on-demand materials. Once you have added the on-demand access to your personal account, you can return to it anytime from our main menu using the subscribers menu bar. Okay, so it's a lot of steps effort, but it's only the first time that you access that you can do that. And Pamela, you were able to do that with no problem?
Yes, I was.
And if you do have trouble, you can email me. All of you, when you signed up for this Zoom tonight, email came from me, so you have my email address. when I send out the recording in the next day or so, it will also have my email address. Please just reach out to me, and I can get you set up if you have any trouble at all. So this is also, you will also get this on-demand QR code that just goes to that same link that that skips the need for the access code. We'll send this out to you if you want to put it on a flyer that you put up in your church, whatever. Anybody can scan it and have access to the on-demand materials through that. Okay.
And Steve, if I may, for anybody who attended this weekend, the QR code and all the access information is in the back of the little workbook that everybody received, not the hardcover book, but the paper folded pages that they used during the workshop.
That's right. Thank you for that. Thank you. But the one I'll send you can actually also copy and use and paste into your church newsletter, whatever you want to do to give people access to it. And let's take a look at the website. But before I do that, any questions so far on what we've been looking at? So this is the sort of homepage now on Invite, Welcome, Connect on demand. And I will mention, you also don't have to use the menu here to go to on-demand training. You can, if you're logged in on our site, and you can see I'm logged in because my name is right there. There's also a little drop-down menu that lets you choose My Programs. That's the website terminology. We don't call it a program, but they make us. So you'll be able to come here that way. It's just an easy little, once you've added it to your account. So the way this is set up, you can see we have here over on the left is our navigation, and this is collapsed. Each of these pieces opens up into different steps. We have on the bottom right, there's a little ask a question button. This is our online chat bot, which you use plain language to ask it questions about the program. Sometimes if you want, like you can ask it. I didn't expect it to know this. I saw somebody ask, what are some good ideas for gift bags to hand out? They asked it here, and I get pinged whenever somebody asks a chat question, and I saw that was a chat question they asked, and I thought, there's no way the chatbot's going to know that. So I came on the site to answer it, and it gave a perfect answer. But that's because it also has access to everything that's here. So each section of it, this one's not a video, but let's actually let's start with before you start the training. No, actually, let's start with invite. As you can see, basic session here is what you have here is up top is the video portion of the first section of the Invite Essential training. And you can see there are multiple videos here. But the video also includes a list of resources that are mentioned in the video or in this section that are downloadable that you can click on. Every video also comes with a transcript, which is sometimes helpful because people like to print out and have something to follow along with or to refer to. That transcript also appears on the screen here. So just multiple ways of showing you the same information because people learn differently in different styles. So we want to make it as simple for you as possible. So to watch the video, and I'll click it and we'll get it started, but we won't watch much. The controls are just like any other video thing. You can also...
Well, welcome. My name is Chris Harris. I'm one of the trainers here
if you want
at
to
Invite Welcome Connect.
Particularly if you want
Invite Welcome Connect is a ministry of transformation that equips and empowers individuals and congregations to cultivate intentional practices.
I'm going to mute it. We have different presenters for each of the three essentials, which it's a combination of the presenter talking to you, but then on-screen resources that are presented. I'm just skipping forward here if it'll doesn't like to let you skip forward. So, and I'm going to pause that there. After most video sessions, there's just a quick little optional quiz that for some people, it's helpful just as a way of kind of self-checking. I just watched that. Did I understand what happened with it? And it, like I say, it's not required, but it can be helpful if it's something that, if you're not able to answer those questions, you may want to go back and look at the transcript again or look at the video again and move on. You see here, we have invite session 1 and then a quiz and then 2. Oh, and I'm looking, actually, I was going to say, in some sections, and I'm looking, yeah, so there'll be questions that if you're watching by yourself, you can kind of self-reflect on those questions and answer. But if you're watching with a group, those are great opportunities for discussion and actually a little bit of idea generation around that as well. We have also in here, so the different sections. And speaking of ideas, each of the 3 essentials, invite and welcome and connect. If you were part of the workshop on Saturday, you did the writing out of ideas on Post-it notes and putting up together, and that kind of fun idea generation, that open collaborative process where you just get out all the ideas and see what sticks to the wall, right? This is a way, if you're going through with your group, you can do that with your group after you watch the video. But if you're going through by yourself, or you're not part of a group while you do it, what we have here is a tool that lets you kind of mimic that idea generation, Sage. And what's here are ideas from Invite, Welcome, Connect users all over the world who have put them up there. But we also invite you to add your ideas here as well. This is also a good place to share success stories too, but it doesn't have to be. It's ideas that might work for you that you want to play with and suggest. You can also obviously look and see what other people have done and what's worked for them. And it's a great resource for all kinds of ministry contexts that people have worked with, invite and welcome and connect. So there's one for each of those essentials. We ask you as well, after each of the essentials, to provide your feedback, because we're really trying to learn more about what works and doesn't work. So we ask you, if you would, to give us some feedback on each segment. Toward that end, we're also, just as an aside, right now in what we're calling a season of listening. If you visit our website, there's an invitation there to fill out a survey of kind of looking toward the future of Invite, Welcome, Connect, and what we can do to help enhance what we do to help congregations around the world. So if you come to our website, there's an invitation on there to fill out that survey. If you come to the events page on our website, there's also a list of not face-to-face, but Zoom listening sessions that we're doing next week, actually. Several with lay people and then several with clergy on the same kind of thing. You don't have to have filled out the online survey to be part of that, but if you want to talk about what your needs are in tools for helping enhance your evangelism, hospitality, and belonging, we invite you to be part of that, because that's important to the future of Invite, Welcome, Connect. So as I say, each section kind of collapses or goes on. We talked about, before you start the training, there's a lot of resources here to help you with that. The Are You Ready video that we talked about, the book study guide is here. It's also out on the main website. A little section on how to use these materials, which can be very helpful. The video we already watched, we didn't watch this one. Invite, Welcome, Connect in 5 minutes, which can be really helpful if you have team members who weren't part of the workshop with Mary and want to know what this is all about. It's a short little video that talks about the kind of essentials of Invite, Welcome, Connect, the basics of it. There's also a longer video on the website, a 12-minute video that does the same thing. But if you want to hit them real quick, this is also a good video to show maybe at coffee hour or during a ministry event, where you want to let people know what you're doing with Invite, Welcome, Connect, what it's all about. This is a nice way to kind of present and explain to them what it's all about. And it's also a great way to help if you're starting an Invite, Welcome, Connect ministry, it's a great way to help build that team, that consensus, get that buy-in from everybody who looks at it and says, oh yeah, that's a good idea, and that's something that can really work here. These videos can help you make that case to people who were not part of the workshop, who don't know what you're talking about when you talk about Invite, Welcome, Connect. We have resources for getting started, which are also out on the main website. An article here on clergy role in Invite, Welcome, Connect. Clergy do not have to run this, and sometimes it's best if they don't. If this is a lay-led ministry, clergy have to be involved and they have to be supportive and have buy-in, but they do not have to run it. So this discusses that. So that's a quick look at Invite, Welcome, Connect on demand in here. Is there anything you want to see that I haven't shown or glanced over, or questions that you have? We have a few minutes left.
I just found it very user-friendly, Steve. To get familiar with it, I went through everything myself over about 3 weeks, and I like how it not only provides you with the resources. It has the questions, which I did do those questions, like reflection questions each time after every video. And it keeps track also, so you never lose track of, did I see everything already? You know, in each section. And I just felt it was really well done. And
thank you for saying that. I'm glad you felt that way. And I will say, yes, it does keep track of each step that you take. And if you do every single one of them, it automatically emails you a nice little certificate that
yes,
says
I got my certificate.
Did you get one?
Yeah, I got my.
Did you get one?
Conclusion. Yes, I did.
Great.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you said that. And we're always looking for ways to make this easier and clearer, and enhancing with other materials. You know, we're growing these resources all the time. That's part of why we're doing this season of listening now, because we want to know how we should grow and where we should grow with that. Also, looking for we'll be applying for a grant later this year, and part of that process is what are we going to do with the money that we get from the grant? Well, you tell us. You know, we really want to grow things in the way that is really going to be valuable to the congregations who use Invite, Welcome, Connect. Oh, is that? I see Michael's hand coming in from the side. Michael, you can just talk.
Elizabeth Thomas Smith, our friend Susan Melberger, and I are all in my office at the church watching this. So I'm off to the side. Elizabeth's in front. Susan's at the other side. So that's why my hand keeps going in front.
I got you. That's fine.
I just want to say how appreciative I am of the fact that this is a lay led ministry.
Yes.
Yes, the clergy have a role in it, but it is a way to empower lay people to be some of those words that Episcopalians get uncomfortable with, like be evangelist, be mission minded, live out that baptismal covenant.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that, Michael. Yeah. And it really is. It's about growing the individual. You know, that's job one, is that when we grow into this ministry, we become beacons to the community. We become beacons to the people outside our walls. And for the people inside our walls, they grow closer to one another and to Christ. That's the goal here. You know, it's not, the goal is not church growth. The goal is changing hearts. And people want to come along for that. When you change hearts, when you grow into the love of Jesus, people are drawn to that. And you have a loving, growing, vibrant community. So that's what we're about. Other questions?
A question about the
Yes.
about the assessment tool.
Yes.
Will it tell us how to get, like, if we want to send it out to a group, will it tell us how we get the responses? Or
Yeah, and actually, if you we have a whole webinar that we did on the assessment tools, and if you give me a quick second, I can find that. I'm going to do the search here, because we actually I was defaulting to search, but is that okay? Here we go. I think that's the right one. This is a webinar that has a lot of text about the thing as well, but a video showing how it works and how to basically on the electronic, as soon as you click the link for it, you do have to have a Google account to make a copy of it, but it's very, very simple. As soon as you click the link, it says, do you want to make a copy? And you say, yes, I want to make a copy. And then you own that. That's your version, and you can make whatever changes to it you want before you put it out. And then it's just a Google form, and it updates immediately. The moment somebody puts in an answer, there's a pie chart that you can see on your responses that shows how they answered and how all the answers are going. So it's really, really simple. And but if it's not, holler at me and we'll help. Okay. But it's a really valuable tool to get a picture of how the congregation thinks you're doing these, which is important. You may think you're doing great, but if they don't know about it, then there are areas for improvement. Or you think you're doing poorly and the congregation may think you're doing great. You got to figure out where that disconnect is. But there's always areas for growth. There's always areas where you're doing some things well and some things that you can do better. So that tool helps a lot. Michael, we losing our audience with you.
So I'm
Thursday night is choir practice night. That's right.
yes, Thursday night's choir practice here. So I'm staying.
Great. Thanks. Well, we're coming up on time, and I want to be mindful of everyone's time. But are there any other questions that I can answer right now? All right. Well, then let me just say again, thank you for becoming part of the Invite, Welcome, Connect ministry. This is a passion for all of us, there's nothing we love more than to see it changing hearts and congregations around, and we want to do everything we can to help you along the way. Check out the materials if you haven't checked them out. Be part of it. But we're here to help you all along the way. Just you can shout out to me, and if I don't know the answers, I can connect you with people who do. I appreciate that. Well, again, thank you all. Thank you. God bless you all. As I say, we'll send out the recording within a couple of days. And any questions or problems, please just reach out to us. All right.
Thank you.
Good night. God bless.
Thank you.